Sam Drinks Beer. This is a beer review. So today's beer comes from the Wild Beer Co. It is a can of their Wild IPA, flavour by fermentation. It says. I believe this is like a farmhouse IPA. It says here, a mixed fermentation IPA combining 3 yeasts creates a magical layers of flavour, brewed to complement food, a touch of acidity to cut through pink grapefruit notes, and a dry moorish finish to refresh. So yeah, I'd imagine this is going to be a bit like as a beer yonder do, which is like a mixed, might just be a pale ale, mixed firm pale. Can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Oh, is it Subculture? I think it's called. Might be wrong. I'll edit it in if it's wrong. Right, let's crack this open. I have decided to use my Wild Beer Co glass for this one, so we are matching glass wanker. This was literally going to be for one review as well. This glass is being used because I'm going to switch to maybe a more stylish glass, because this is obviously like just a standard pint glass really, and it's a little bit boring. Hasn't been used for a while, so that's probably a bit rubbish, as you can see by all the bubbles. So it's an interesting colour. It looks darker on the camera, I think, than it actually is. It's like it smells appley. It's sort of like, yeah, it's sort of like a, sorry, that's dreadful, isn't it? The dirty glass mafia are going to be after me. But yeah, it's only 440ml. It seems to be filling this pint glass quite a lot. But yeah, it's quite a dark, sort of ambery colour, of maybe a finger and a half head. A lot of carbonation by the looks of things. You can see it properly shooting up. Get the smell. I instantly got apples. Yeah, I'm still getting apples. Bit of a cidery like smell, sort of quite oaky. Has that sort of funkiness I sort of expected. Yeah, it smells a bit like it smells a little bit like the Wild Beer Co Ninkasi I did on here, which obviously was a mixed firm beer, but yeah, it's just passion fruit as well. A little bit of grapefruit maybe. It's sort of apple, funky apples. A bit of white wine. Oh, it's really interesting. It just smells a bit like cider, if I'm honest. Right, let's dive in. Okay. It's an interesting tasting beer. Sort of the flavours, I guess, sort of follow on a bit from this sort of smell. It's got sort of funky apples, maybe slightly tart as well. Yeah, lots of grapefruit, oakiness, sort of woodiness. As I noticed when I was looking at it, it's very carbonated. Very slight. Sort of burnt caramel sort of taste. Quite bitter. Sort of like a spritziness to it. Like, obviously the carbonation, but it sort of reminds me very much sort of like a bit of a champagne-y like taste. I wonder if they've used champagne yeast in this, like they did in the Nikazi. Not that it says anywhere. Is it going to be one of them when I've read it and it's not gone in? It just says free yeasts. But yeah, it's very spritzy. Well, it's very different. It's very different from your usual IPA for sure. This is actually from Waitrose, so yeah, it's a supermarket beer. So it's a bit of a a brave one to put in a supermarket, really, from Wild, because obviously I think they put like their sort of standard sort of core beers like Bibble and Pogo and Millionaires and stuff like that in supermarkets, but they're all sort of quite run of the mill, pale ales and sort of stouts. This is a bit different. I don't think this is I don't think this is like a sort of very much not a sort of beginner beer, really. It's quite like, I'm not sure, like your random sort of guy just getting into craft beer picks this up thinking, oh, I've enjoyed Bibble by Wild Beer Co. Picks this up. I'm not sure they would, maybe appreciate it, or well, it's really interesting. Sort of very earthy as well. Sort of slightly it's a little bit sort of like what's it called, tannin sort of flavour. I think that's what they call it. Sort of like it's sort of fruity esters. Yeah, very much like I say it as apple. It's very much like an apple skin sort of taste. Obviously, I'm not sure about the colour. It's not the prettiest looking beer in the world, is it? Like, it had a nice head, a nice carbonation, but now the head's gone. It's a bit of an off-looking colour, really. But it tastes. I like the taste. I like the smell. And it's a bit different. It's interesting. I say body's very thin, but I'm not sure that would be what they're going for. It's very carbonated, like ridiculously carbonated. Maybe slightly over carbonated, but it does give it like a spritziness to it, like I mentioned. Let's rate it up anyway. So, some interesting flavours and smells in there. It's almost, it's, I've got some fruitiness. It's all like fruit skin, sort of apple skin. So like grapefruit in there, and it's like very fizzy, almost like champagne sort of like flavour in there. That's why I wonder if they've used champagne. He's sort of very spritzy sort of. It's an interesting one. I think I like it. Would it be a staple beer I'd probably buy regularly? Maybe not, but it's an interesting change of pace and something a little bit different from your sort of standard IPA. I'm gonna give it a 3.75, out of 5. I think it's a good effort for Wild Beer Co. It's a bit different on your shelves for your supermarkets, and it's one that's worth trying, maybe just once, but it's one worth experiencing. It's a bit different. So thank you for watching. This has been a review of the Wild IPA by Wild Beer Co. Please drop us your thoughts below. Drop us a big fat like. If you're not already, subscribe. Be much appreciated. Add me on Untappd, SamJixBeer93, and follow me on Instagram, SamJixBeerYT, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.